Hello and welcome to this video lesson about HTML and JavaScript programming. This video is going to describe HTML page called MovingRectangle.html. And the themes of this lesson include absolute positioning of HTML elements on an internet page. Then we are going to use button, select and option elements on this page. And the one important thing is to show that how we are going to modify the CSS styles with JavaScript. So my name is Kari Laitinen, and this page can be found at naturalprogramming.com. So the moving rectangle page.html, it looks like this. So I have already downloaded it and opened it locally. But if you want to download it, you first go to the naturalprogramming.com, and when you click this web icon, you enter this page, and from there you can find this link, simple HTML pages, and there is this list of files, and the moving rectangle is among these files. So you can download it and work with it locally if you like. And the page, it looks like this, so that there is a rectangle there, and you can move the rectangle. There are 4 buttons to move it, so there is the left button, and there is the down button, and there is the up button, and there is the right button. And, well, the rectangle color can then be changed through this drop-down list, and, for instance, I can say select yellow color, or I can select, for instance, the khaki color. So this is basically what the page does, and you can really move. For instance, if you move this rectangle, it can go over the border of this area, or this light blue area. So actually the border doesn't matter anything here. And so this rectangle here, it is actually one div element on this page, but because it is absolutely positioned, it can be moved, and its position can be changed with JavaScript. So we can take a look at the source code of the page. I have already the source code open in this editor, and well, in this source code we have the usual things, like we have the title thing and the normal elements which we usually have at the beginning of an HTML page. And there are some comments there if you want to read, and some copied text from the 3wschools.com. So this positioning of elements, it is really very important to learn, and it's not necessarily a very easy thing to learn. And you can, if you want to have more information about positioning of the elements, I suggest that you go to this at my page I have these links to the w3schools.com, and there is one link is the CSS link, and if you go there, you can find subpage about positioning, and there you can find, for instance, that there is the static positioning, which is the default positioning, and there is relative positioning, and there is fixed positioning, and there is then this absolute positioning. I'm not going to go through this page right now, but I really suggest that you read this because it's very important and very basic thing related to web pages. And it's not necessarily easy thing to understand, and you always forget that how it was. But this is really good page to learn or to read. So about this source code of this page. So I have there some CSS style definitions. Then there is the JavaScript section. There are JavaScript methods, and then there is the actual HTML body of the page. And we can see that everything is now inside a div with ID centered container. So everything is inside this div, and inside the centered container I have then two other divs. So there is this div with ID centered UI components or centered user interface components. And then I have this other div here that has ID moving rectangle, and there's nothing inside this. So as the comment here said, the content of the following div is empty as its properties are specified with a CSS definition. So this moving rectangle it's totally specified with CSS, and there is nothing there. And then these UI components, they are quite easily read through, so that we have four buttons there, and there is the and for each button there is a specified method that will be called when the button is pressed. But one interesting thing is here that because we need to have these characters, or we want to have these characters, the less than character and the greater than character there. And because these characters, they are part of the HTML language, like for instance in this div definition we have these less than and greater than characters. So we can't express these characters like that in the HTML code. So for that reason, if we want to have, for instance, this less than character, I have to write it like this. So I have the and sign and the L and T and then the semicolon. And if I want to have there the greater than sign, I have to write this and G and T and semicolon. So these are the buttons, and there are four buttons, and then I have this so-called drop-down list, and that is defined with the select tag. And for the select tag, I have this ID color selection list, and I have also specified JavaScript function. This JavaScript function will be called when a change is made. And then inside the select element, I specify option elements, and each option is then one option in the list. And so there's the red option, green option, blue option, and yellow option, and magenta option and cyan option and white option and khaki option and gray option and olive option. And all these options, they are then visible here when I open the list. Let's make the khaki back its nice color. So this is the HTML part of this source code of this page, and let's take a look at then this CSS part of the. So this is the CSS part, and well, I have to make it a little bit wider. So this is the CSS part of the page, and then there is this. So everything is now inside a thing called centered container, and that is now this whole thing here. This whole thing is now the centered container, and you can see there that it's the position of this container is absolute. And you can see that, for instance, if I make the browser window wider, the centered container stays centered on the page. And how this is then done, there is a nice little trick here, so that the centered container, or I have to explain it. I think I will explain it with by drawing it. I actually have here a pre-drawing for this, so that here in this drawing, this whole area is then the browser window, and this is then the centered container, and then this is the rectangle inside the container. So the trick here, that how it is centered, it is that we have written here left and 50%. So it's left and 50%, and then there is this margin left minus 400 pixels. And it means that when the total width of the page is 800 pixels, and its left margin is minus 400, and its positioned its left position is 50% of the total width of the browser window, it will be centered left. So this whole thing is now 800, and then it's positioned left, or the margin left is minus 400. So this is a trick that is done here. And so first the left property specifies that the left position is here, but then it is with a negative margin, it is moved to the left. So this area has also the height of 600 pixels, but that doesn't really affect anything here. And the top property is 30 pixels, so it is this. Like this. So, and then, well, I have made these nice background colors like this. Alice blue is the background color for the whole centered container, so it is this color here, and then there is this border, is the color of the border is light sky blue, which is this this color, and also this, the centered UI components have this same color. So the centered UI components, they have this light sky blue as well. And here. And then there is the moving rectangle that is specified with this CSS definition. And again, its position is absolute. And its width is this, and its height is that. And then these left and top, these two properties, they specify the upper left corner of the rectangle. And at the beginning I have made this calculation that I have set it to 276. So I have to, it is, there is a kind of formula here that it is container width divided by 2 minus the rectangle width divided by 2 and the border width. So it means that so that it is actually, so the container width divided by 2 is 400, and from that I take the rectangle width divided by 2. Oh well, it's this is now it's the container width divided by 2, so I go here and then I subtract the rectangle width by divided by 2, so I go somewhere here, and then I still have to subtract the border width. So for that way I get the x coordinate, and it's the x coordinate of that point. And then the top coordinate is then 200, this one. So this is 276, and this is 200. This my drawing is not necessarily completely accurate here. But this is the way how it is positioned. So we can specify these properties like left and top when we are using this absolute positioning. So these specify the position of the element, and in addition you can also specify a margin for the element. So this can be a little bit confusing at the beginning. So that was the CSS part, and then we have the JavaScript, and I have two variables there, and there is rectangle position left and rectangle position top, and I have initialized these variables with the same values that are written in the CSS definition. So I have done this on purpose. And then I have these methods or functions here. So there is this left button clicked function, down button clicked function, and up button clicked function, and right button clicked function. So when I want to, for instance, when left button is clicked, I modify the value of this variable so that I subtract 4 from its value, and then I have to modify the CSS element. So first I use the document get element by ID moving rectangle. I can refer the rectangle element, and then I can refer to the style of the element, so that I first write rectangle element and then I refer to the style definitions of that element, and then I refer to the left property, and then I make it so that I say rectangle position left plus px. So this automatically then converts this value to a string, and it is assigned here. So this is how I modify the left property. So actually what I'm doing here, I am rewriting this property here with JavaScript statement. And in the same way I do the other. So this is just for testing purposes. This is not just prints this thing line to the console windows. This is not at all necessary here. And for all the buttons there is a similar procedure. So that, for instance, when the down button is clicked, then I have to modify this top property, and I modify first the value of this variable. So this means that, so this actually means the same as this is another version of this statement. And in the same way I get the reference to the rectangle element, and I can refer to the style of that element, and then I can refer to the top property of the style. And then again I use this expression to make the value for this property. So they are almost similar, these. So and in this case I modify this property here. So two of the functions are modifying this property, and two of the functions are modifying this property. And the correct value for the property is always kept in these variables. So for that reason it is important that they are initialized correctly at the beginning. So when I want to move rectangle right, I increase the value of the left property by 4. And if I want to move the rectangle up, then I decrease the value of the top property by 4. So this is how it goes. So then there is this the changing of the color, and so there is only one function that will be called when this drop-down list is used. Like this. And the trick here is that now I have defined the colors. I have here an array, so it is this function that changes the color, and I have specified this array here, and it is an initialized array with color strings. So there are color strings here, and some of the colors they are made with this. So this is a JavaScript function call actually. So you can specify the white color by saying that all the color values, the red, green and blue, they are in maximum, or the cyan color can be specified with these colors. This is just to show that you can specify the colors with absolute numerical values, but in most cases it is easier to use these strings that you can find in this. I have here this web address. In this address you can find the acceptable strings for different colors, and there are, I think there are almost 100 colors there. But the trick here is that these colors here, they have to be in the same order as the option elements are here. So this means that, for instance, the yellow color is now, it is the fourth color in this list of options, and so then the yellow color is the fourth color in this array. So these colors must be exactly in the same order in this array as they are in this list of options. And then I can refer to this color selection list. So with this ID, so the color selection list has this ID called color selection list. So I can refer to that element with this ID, and I get the selected index. So I get the index of the color in this drop-down list. And then the index is a integer value, and then I just make again a refer to the moving rectangle. So again I'm using this ID. I can refer to this moving rectangle like this, and I can in JavaScript I can refer to this element, and then again I rewrite the style. So I rewrite the style background called background, and I just take one string from this array by using this index. So with using this index that I got from the drop-down list, I use it in this array, and I select the color from the array and write it to this background property. So actually the name, it is different here. So here it is just background, and here it is background color. But what I'm doing here, in a way I'm rewriting this thing with the JavaScript statement. So this is basically the structure of this page. And I think let's take a look at this list, because at the beginning I had this comment. So there is this link here, and let's copy it. Let's see what is there. So there is a list, should be a list. I'm not sure if we found maybe it's better that we are not going to read this right now. But basically this document should explain the things that we can modify with JavaScript, but it seems we would need more time to read this. Okay, so we have now, I think we have now studied this page, and well, now it is reloaded. And so we have studied this page, and well, the most important things were that we have this absolute positioning. We have this absolute positioning, and we are using the button elements. So these are the buttons. We are using the select element or the drop down list, and select element has option elements inside it, and then we can modify the CSS styles with JavaScript. So I think this is enough for now, and I'll be back in some other video. So I thank you for your attention, and I wish you a nice evening. It is evening when I make this video. Bye.